My team is currently one person in Texas, one person in New York, another person in New York State, and one person who is fully distributed and roves across the US and Europe as she sees fit. Be really intentional about your process. Different things work differently for different people, and I think if you consciously choose to iterate on your process and make it known that it's an intention of the team and it's a priority for the team, then it's easier to get buy-in and you end up with a more engaged team. And I mean, fundamentally, the lowest common denominator here is having a team that's engaged and want to do the work. They find it interesting, they find it challenging, and that's kind of what your whole process should be geared towards. We've made 5 hires in the last sort of 2 months, and hiring is a constant challenge for engineering teams, but being flexible on location has been a real win for Ethyca. We've been able to hire people across the whole of the USA, and sometimes in Europe too, which does make a big difference when you think traditionally you'd be constrained to one geographical area. You know, if you can accept candidates in rural Texas, there are still a lot of smart people and they live everywhere. So being arbitrary about it, I mean, if you've got a process that can support it, it's much better to include everybody. You can be more inclusive with a remote team. Yeah, I mean, like we've done some things that work and done some things that haven't worked. We have coffee pods in our company, so after stand-ups every day, or well, with differing cadence, we have 15 minutes, we set 15 minutes aside, and there's a donut app on Slack which just pairs people together, or you know, groups of up to 6, and people just have a coffee and they talk. And you know, actually, timing of that is quite interesting in a remote environment because you know, the US West Coast is 4 hours behind the US East Coast, and then you've got the Western Europe, which is 5-6 hours ahead of that. So, sorry, behind that, ahead of that time zones, which means that there's constant flux over when these meetings are happening. You know, so we tend to optimize for US East Coast because that's like bang in the middle and we can include the most people. But we will change those meeting timings around. You know, for some people it's lunch, other people it's breakfast. Sometimes it's dinner on a Friday. We do 5 o'clock Eastern time US, kind of just an hour on Zoom where we can all talk. And I think when people really engage, that's what really makes it good and special.